Well, I hope everybody had a great Monday today. I mean, gosh, it's just finally starting to warm up in the Northeast. I hope it's warming up in the Midwest and the northern area as well. Guys, I have to say, I was sharing results with Jeremy and Dennis today, and this has just been such a successful group of people. We're just so proud of the results that people are getting, and we're really even more than that, we're extremely impressed by the people that are just sticking with it, the people that are consistently reporting their numbers, regardless of if they're seeing results now or if they just know it's going to pop through soon. So keep up the really great work, you guys. Continue to put the work in, because you know what, guys, this is what the contest was built off of. This contest was built off of this idea that small efforts repeated every single day add up to the big win. We see the big wins around. You see success, and you have this jaded view of what it is. All you see is the result, right? When we're on the outside looking in, all we get to see and experience is the result, and we just see the big result, and we don't see all of the little steps that we're taking in order to achieve that result. And I'm here to tell you, and everybody's here to tell you, anybody that's done anything for an extended period of time to achieve success, guys, it's about little things every day. It's not about going crazy. It's not about just this drastic thing. But if you could just do the 3 contacts a day, like we're recommending, and implement some of these strategies that we've been talking about to expand your network and increase your possibilities, you'll be unstoppable. I just know it. So keep up the excellent work, and let's just get right into tonight. So here's what we're going to talk about in week 6. Can you believe that we've already completed 5 full weeks of this contest? It's incredible. We're going to go through our reminders. We're going to talk through the results, and then we're going to do something to prepare for the upcoming holidays, the spring fever that's coming right around the corner, whether it's Easter or whether it's just spring in general, or whether it's Mother's Day or Father's Day or 4th of July or any of the holidays that are coming up. What we're going to talk about is how can you use those things to your advantage to create urgency, both with website possibilities and also some best practices for prospecting for the unfranchised during the holidays. Because far too often, we'll fall back on the holidays or the time of year as an excuse to slow down or as an excuse to pull back with the amount of effort that we're putting in. But what you have to understand is that in business, that just doesn't work because there's a holiday and there's a change of season or something special that goes on every single month. And if you use that as an excuse every single month, it's just a huge, wrench in your plan month after month after month. So what I want to talk about today are some strategies to, instead of make that an excuse for why you didn't talk to people or why you took the week off, how can you use that to motivate yourself to take it to the next level? Because I'm telling you guys, our biggest weeks in business are almost always during holiday weeks. So I want to share with you what we've done in the past that has worked for us and that other people have duplicated over previous 90-day fast tracks and seen massive success with as well. Because I want you to try these strategies out over the upcoming weeks as these holidays are right around the corner. Couple of quick reminders. The webinars are recorded, but as always, webinars are not guaranteed. So the only way to guarantee you're going to get this information is to show up for the live recording. So spread the word. All successful recordings and PDF copies of this presentation are being made available at weBVolumecontest.com by simply clicking on webinars and support. If you have questions and answers at the end, I will stay on board and answer them, but they are not recorded. So again, the only way to catch those is to attend the live session. Please remember to only report numbers. We're almost all doing that. It's really, really important. It just takes up a lot of time to just go through and make sure that we're not messing up the formula on the Excel spreadsheet. So please only report numbers in your weekly activity report at the weBVolume Contest website. Continue to work on Facebook. Everybody's doing really, really great stuff. So let's get into this. Week 5 was another excellent week. You guys, again, what I'm most excited about so far for this is that we're seeing consistent results across the board. We're seeing consistent contacts being made, consistent appointments being set, and a consistent appointments being completed, which is excellent, excellent stuff, because that tells me that you're not just throwing all your eggs in one basket, that you're not just saying, look, I set some appointments and all I'm doing is following up with the same people and waiting for them to pop through, because that's the slowest way to build this business, and it's the slowest way to build your web center business. So the fact that I'm seeing consistent appointments being set and completed is huge. And then in addition to that, I mean, we're seeing record number website sales and product sales and personally sponsored distributors. So 12 website sales last week, and totaling 76 in 5 weeks. That's incredible because, in fact, we're working with the same number of participants in this contest that we've worked with in the past. So that's incredible. The sale price was $14,404, bringing the total thus far up to 102 grand. Retail profit was $10,047, bringing the total retail profit earned by distributors on this contest up to $67,840. Product sales last week were over 17 grand, bringing the total product sales up to $165,689. Now, guys, in addition to that, before I move on, I just want you to take a second and digest what we just said in terms of results. And how does that equate to even BV that was generated in your business, right? 76 website sales times 230 BV. That's an insane amount of business volume. And then all of those website sales generate 30 BV every single month if they remain an active client. Guys, that's an ongoing BV incentive. So congratulations to those of you that sold websites. That's some ongoing BV that you just gifted to your business and into your organization. The product sales, $165,000 in product sales times about, what is the average? 80% BV on the dollar. That's an insane amount of business volume that was credited to business groups. 78 new personally sponsored, and everybody knows that a new distributor is worth more than a sale any day of the week. I mean, that's a network waiting to be built out in an organization and a leg ready to, you don't even know if there's a director that was included in those numbers. Also, 779 tickets were purchased to the international convention and 164 web center trainings were attended. Guys, these results are completely unparalleled by any other period contest or fast track that we've ever done. So just continue to do the work. And like I said earlier today, what's most impressive about this is the amount of contacts that are being made outside of the results that are being seen. Because again, this is about synergy. Can you make sure that you're constantly prospecting while you're closing sales, constantly prospecting while you're closing new business partners? Because that's what's gonna keep your business growing on a consistent basis. So let's talk about tonight. The holiday advantage is what we like to call this. This is an incredible opportunity. Holidays are not an excuse to not work. Honestly, entrepreneurs are people that are just working all the time, right? I mean, you're thinking about how you can get better. You're always being your best. You're always prospecting. Your ears are always open. When opportunities in front of you, you see it and you grab the opportunity, right? That's the difference between an entrepreneur and somebody that just works a job, right? Sometimes we laugh at our house that we traded our 9 to 5 for a 24/7, but I'd rather be working 24/7 for myself than 9 to 5 for somebody that doesn't appreciate my work any day of the week, right? And that's not to say that jobs are bad, because if you've ever come to a local seminar of mine, or if you know me at all, I don't judge. I honestly, I will teach dance at my dance studio until I can't, till the day that I can't anymore, because I love what I do. But what I'm talking about is that entrepreneurial spirit of working, working, working. And again, the holidays it's really more of an opportunity than it is an excuse, right? So a few years ago, it was the week of Thanksgiving in November, obviously. And everybody knows that the week of Thanksgiving is generally a very short week, right? Because working days, if somebody is really, really working that working week, they're doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And most people take Thursday off for Thanksgiving. And then most people take Friday off because it's, Black Friday, and it's a big shopping day. It's a big day, like holiday day, where a lot of people take off, unless you're working in retail or maybe even the restaurant industry. Right. So that week, I remember, this was several years ago. I mean, this was at least 5 years ago. I remember looking at Ryan, my husband, and saying, "Oh my gosh, it's Black Friday. We have no money to go holiday shopping for the kids, and we have to do something." And so we sat down and we decided that instead of taking this week off like everybody else was going to do, we were going to identify all of the website possibilities that we had ever met or ever talked to or ever shown a website appointment to. We were going to contact them, and we were going to create some urgency and say we were running a small business Saturday, Black Friday kind of sale, and we were going to encourage people to close a website soon. And so for all of Monday, I did nothing but call all of my contacts. So this was an incredible follow-up effort, and I think that this webinar is obviously strategically placed right after the follow-up webinar. This is a very specific way to do it. And the long and short of it is that we made 7 website sales inside of 3 days. We closed 7 websites by the end of business on Wednesday, generated 1,575 BV, $8,400 in website retail profit. And by the way, Eric, you, Phil Brinks, and many others have done an excellent job of duplicating this exact effort. So all I have to say, guys, is most people would have entered that week a little bit down on themselves and said, well, there's not much we can do this week because it's Thanksgiving or it's Black Friday, it's a 3-day week. But it's all in your motivation to either use that holiday as an advantage or use that holiday as an excuse, or as a reason to slow down. Either way is fine, but just understand that your results will be a reflection on how you view your work week that week. $8,400 in retail profit that was generated in 3 days, and all that BV, and by the way, all of that ongoing B from the website sales that we made that week. Guys, I can't tell you how much cooler that was for us, having just feeling like we were struggling and not being able to enjoy the holidays, to making more money inside of 3 days than I think we ever made inside of an entire month, right? So it's all about follow-up. It's all about not being scared and maximizing your time, so that you can turn this into an advantage. Guys, I'm telling you, in previous fast tracks, Phil Brinks especially, I remember he actually spoke about this on one of the fast tracks, because he had done such a great job with it and sold 3 websites inside of a short week. Same thing. It might be 7 sales, it might be 2, it might be 3, it might only be 1, or it could be 10. It really truly matters on how much stuff you have in your warm funnel waiting to pop through, or how much follow up you're able to accomplish in the amount of time. But either way, it's totally worth it. In addition to an opportunity to close sales that are in limbo, the holiday advantage is an incredible opportunity to prospect and cultivate relationships both at family gatherings and at community events, because the holidays and special events that are happening on a month, every month, like I said, there's something going on every single month. They generally provide a reason for people to get together. And so if you know how to make the most of that time, you can really, really find that prospecting becomes easier. Not only is it more efficient, but it's more easier because excuse me, it's easier because people are just everywhere, and you're in a routine, or I'm trying to think of the right word to describe it, but like once you get your groove going, and you know what to do, and you get comfortable in your own skin, it just becomes way easier. And again, when you have all these people together in one place, it's a good opportunity to knock out more numbers in shorter amount of time. So let's talk about how we can use the holidays specifically. I want to give you an action plan for how to use the holidays, any holiday or any time of the year, to create some urgency. All right, so the first step is to prepare, to identify what are your possibilities. All right, because when I gave you that example about Thanksgiving week, I didn't go out and just meet 7 brand new website prospects and close 7 brand new prospects. What I did was a massive follow-up effort. And that's exactly what I'm going to recommend that you do. So what you need to keep in mind is that sales are time sensitive, generally, right? Because the time of the year, or Easter's coming up, or if it's Mother's Day, or if it's just a spring fever, or if it's April 14th is tax day, like whatever it is that you're going to call your special that you're going to run, it should be time sensitive. And because it's time sensitive, you need to be very effective, very prepared, and very efficient with how you spend your time. So what I would recommend that everybody does is just get out an old school notebook. If you're an electronic kind of person and you like to take notes on your phone or your iPad or whatever, that's fine. But I just find that notebooks are really easy to do because you can just quickly jot down notes while you're on the phone. And, for me, that was always most effective. But again, you can do whatever is easier for you. But the point is you have to have one place where you keep all of the information written down, so that you're not going, oh, some of my notes are on my phone, some are on my iPad, some are on this notebook. Everything needs to be, clearly written down in one place. And what you're going to write into your notebook is every single person that ever saw the website demo, meaning you've ever scheduled a website appointment and they completed a website appointment, but they did not buy a website. This could be a website appointment that you conducted, like a 15-minute consult, or if you conduct your own appointments, that's fine. Or if the product specialist conducted the appointments, you're writing that person's name down. The second column of list of names you're going to write down is every person that canceled their appointment. You scheduled an appointment with a prospect, but they didn't show up for whatever reason. You're going to write them down anyway. Keep in mind that Although, although they're on your follow-up list because we're putting them here, they've canceled an appointment. This list of people may need some more work. They may need some more time to make a decision because they've never actually gotten all of the information. The next thing is you have to be sure that you write down all of the contact info next to their name and any important notes. So if you know somebody canceled an appointment because it's the busy time of the year, they couldn't come because they were getting ready for the home show, write that down. And the reason why we're writing that down is because we've been talking about the importance of connecting with your prospects on all of our webinars. And by having some personal information, it allows you to open up with a warm connection. So when you pick up the phone and actually follow up with this person, you could have their information right in front of you and just say, hey, Kev, this is Sarah Rose. Listen, we were supposed to get together last week, but you were really busy with the home show. How was that event for you, by the way? Awesome. I'm so glad it was great. Listen, we're running a special, and I'm not trying to rush you or anything, but I was just thinking about you and wondering if you wanted to go ahead and reschedule that appointment. Is there any time over the next 2 days that would work well for you? Right? Really simple stuff. But the point is this: if you have the information written down in front of you, it keeps you from getting tongue tied. It helps you to remember little details that are going to help you to connect, even though you're simply making a phone call. The next thing is I encourage everybody to just leave some space, for every single prospect so that you can write more notes as you're talking to people and following up. So if you're writing on an old school notebook, I would write the business name, the business owner's name, contact information, any notes that you have, and then I would leave 2 to 3 lines open just so that you have room to write. If you're writing on a computer or an electronic format, it's obviously easier to add notes there, if that's how you prefer to do it. The next step is to choose an actual promotion. All right, so here's the important part of this. If you don't give your promotion a name, then it sounds a little bit ambiguous because it is ambiguous. But if you give yourself a promotion, you name it, and you give it a value, then when you pick up the phone to call your prospects and you say, I'm running a spring sale, it's 10% off of any package to get started, or whatever it is that you gave as a promotion, it's really clear. And that's very important because remember, it's time sensitive. We're not dealing with a ton of time here. And you need to be extremely clear when you're communicating to your prospects about a promotion. So I gave you a couple of recommendations, but remember that this is something that you would be running on your own, that you can organize on your own. So you can choose any of these ideas, or you could create one of your own ideas. Um, some of the good ones are to run a spring sale. It's, spring is finally happening. Or if you just want to just give it like a general name, it doesn't have to be holiday related whatsoever. It could just be small business promotions. We're running a promotion for small businesses between now and the end of the month, blah, 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 blah. Or it's tax time right now. Tax time is right around the corner. So you could say we're running the Tax Advantage 2014, or spring holidays, or Easter holiday, or whatever it is that you want to call it, right? Then you're going to give that promotion some sort of value, right? So that people ask, well, what is the promotion? Well, you have to be able to answer that. My recommendation is any of these things. You could say, we're offering 10% off any new for any new bit or any new client, or $300 off of any design package. Or, hey, if you get started in the next 2 weeks, we'll take 3 months of your monthly maintenance fees and we will credit that to you. We'll take that off the cost of your startup so that you can save that money to apply toward your monthly maintenance fees. You can do whatever you want. Just understand this. It's really important that whatever promotions that you do write have a deadline. So a start and an end date. It's very important that they have a deadline, because if they don't have a deadline, then you're not going to create any urgency, because people have an infinite amount of time to cash in on that deal. So it's really important that there's a start and an end date. The other really important thing about running promotions is that you do not make the promotion so big that it's actually going to work against you if the timing isn't right for your client. Right? So if it's so big, you don't ever want to devalue your products. You don't ever want to say, well, we're giving them away for whatever, when you're typically charging 50% more, because all that does is devalue the product. The other thing that it could do is it could actually make them feel like, well, if I'm going to miss out on such a big deal right now, then I guess I'm not going to make a decision anytime soon, because I don't have time to make the decision now, but I guess it ends up working against you. So that's why I gave you a couple of examples of things that are exciting, because you want the promotion to be exciting, but again, you don't want it to be so huge that it works against you. The next thing is that you have to actually contact your possibilities. And I find that having a conversation with the people on your list is incredibly more effective than contacting them, via email or via email marketing or some sort of, more impersonal way of communicating. And the reason is again, it's time sensitive. And if you pick up the phone and you say, listen, I know that you saw the website demo a few months ago. I was just thinking about you. The more personal you can make this, the more opportunities you have to connect on a personal level, the more rapport you're going to build, and the higher of a chance you're going to have of making a sale. So make sure that you actually sit down. I mean, you can really probably knock out all of the follow-up calls inside of an hour if you're really, really effective, and you dedicate that time, and you allow yourself not you try not to get distracted. Write down notes as you're talking to people, because it may or may not take a few extra calls, but it's really important that you're constantly note taking, so that every single time you pick up the phone to make that follow-up call again, you have as much personal information as possible that you can use to establish that warm rapport. Now, another little tip, you need to leave room for the yeses. And what I mean by that is, this is part of the reason I say it's important to sit down for a solid hour and just, hammer through all your follow-up calls. If you're running a special that ends at the end of the week, then you want to make sure that you're making those initial calls on Monday or Tuesday, so that you have room Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to complete a follow-up appointment or complete a full-on appointment and close the sale. Now remember, the product specialist can help with this. You just need to make sure you're communicating with the product specialist so they can support you in this. But the important thing is that you need to leave time for the people that say yes. Because if you're leaving all your follow-up calls until Thursday and your promotion is supposed to end on Friday, you're not giving your clients and your prospects a fair enough amount of time to actually clear their schedule to show up for a follow-up appointment and to actually go ahead and take advantage of your sale. So I highly recommend doing these follow-up calls, on the earlier side of your promotion that you're running. And again, it doesn't have to be a Monday through Friday thing. It could be a 2-week period. It could be a 3-week period, whatever it is that you want it to be, or whatever you're basing your particular holiday promotion around. That start and end date will differ based on what you've, established as your promotion. On the contrary, you want to leave open doors for the not right nows or the no's, right? If they say, oh, the timing isn't right now, I'm just too busy, I can't even think about that, but thanks for thinking of me. It's not always a no. It's most of the time, it's just a not right now. It's usually a timing thing. But the important thing here, the critical part here, is that you do not hang up the phone without permission to call back. So if they say, oh, that's really great that you thought of me, and it sounds like such a great promotion, I'm just so busy, your next goal shouldn't be like, are you sure you don't want to take care of this? Because you don't want to convince them of something that they don't want. Or if the timing isn't right, that's fine. You just need to respect that. You want to hear what they said and respond accordingly. So you might want to say something like, that's great. Is it okay if I give you a call in another week or two? Or if anything else comes up, right? So ask for permission to call back, and ask when the best time to call back is. Or if they say, oh, timing is really not so great right now, you could say, well, if you're really, really busy, is there a time, in the next couple of weeks where you slowed down that you would like me to call you back? Ask them that specific question. Let them tell you, because, if they give you the reason to call back, then when you pick up the phone 2 or 3 weeks later, you can start off with, hi, Kevin, it's Sarah Rose again. We spoke a couple of weeks ago, and you asked me to give you a call back around this time. And then you could lead from there, right? It's just really important that you don't just say, okay, and hang up the phone, because what you're essentially doing is closing a door, and you want to leave that door wide open. It's really also equally as important that you hear what the people are saying on the phone. And if they really are not interested, don't try and sell them. They're not ready. You're going to kill that relationship. A really great example, guys, we looked at a couple of houses today, and one of the houses we were totally in love with, and these people had dogs, and it was a for sale by owner kind of a house, and he had this really, really cool dog fence in the back, and he had all these like dog features, like a little dog, I don't even know, it's like a opening where the dog could run in and out, and all this stuff that he had done for his dog. And I kept saying to him, we don't have dogs. but he kept shoving the dog features down my throat. And then I kept saying, we don't have dogs and I'm allergic to dogs. Yes, I take OPC3, so don't make the recommendation. But listen, I'm not a dog person. I never had pets growing up, and it's fine. I love that other people have pets. That's cool, but it's not something that I have time for. And I just believe that if you are going to have a dog, you should be the kind of people that are home all the time that can take care of them and give them the attention they need. That's not me right now. So we're not going to have a dog. And so anyway, the point is this. The seller just would not stop talking to me about dog features to the point where it was so annoying because I just felt like he didn't even hear anything that we were looking for. And even though I liked the house, the way that he was responding to me made me feel like he didn't hear or care about anything. And so I just was like, ugh, so over it. You know what I mean? And it's just a testament. People want to feel heard, and they want to feel cared about, and they want to feel important. So when they share information with you, like they're so busy, it's really important that you respect that and you respond to that accordingly. Because I'm telling you, while it may take more time to follow up, it could be the difference between whether or not someone wants to do business with you at all. All right, so just one last tip about this. This can work for simple sales just as much as it works for people that major in web centers, right? So I major in web centers, and when I talk to people, I always position myself as that I'm the creative director of my company, that we're partnered with MA Web Centers, and we provide an excellent product. We help small to medium-sized business owners to leverage the internet. Now, I do that because I'm knowledgeable about our product at this point, and I feel comfortable and it feels natural for me to position myself that way. But the way that most people get started with this website, with selling websites, and the way that a lot of people choose to continue selling websites because it's most comfortable for them, is the simple sales system, that referral system. So I want to share with you, if you're using the simple sales system, a way that you can still use this holiday advantage to your advantage, and still have it feel very natural and organic. So you could pick up the phone and say, hey, John, it's Sarah. Listen, I know it's been a crazy week with the holidays and all, but I heard about something that made me think of you. I remember you did an appointment with a product specialist for a website and the timing wasn't right then, but guess what? There actually is a sale going on right now for $300 off to get started. And if you'd like, I could have someone give you a call back with some more information. Right? Isn't that so easy? And I do that all the time. Actually, I just did that with my sister with Free People. It's one of our favorite stores, and they're actually a partner store. And I gave her a call. I said, oh my God, they totally just they just put a whole new bunch of stuff on clearance, and they brought in a bunch of new items today. And I gave her a call and I said that. Now Teresa doesn't think that's weird because she knows I don't own Free People. I made the recommendation for her to shop at Free People before, and now I'm just calling her back up because I was thinking about her. It's that same kind of idea. It's really normal. It's really easy to do. You just have to know what you're communicating, and then you need to get permission for someone to call them. And then when you're done, and if they say, yeah, I'm ready, that sounds really great, I'd love for someone to call me back, you just say, that's fine, I'll make sure somebody does. Who did you talk to over at last time? Get the person's name, call into sales support and say, listen, I need Conan to give this person a call back. I want to offer $300 off, and we're running we're going to let her know that we're running a sale, and if you could help close the sale, that would be great. And they will set up the appointment. So it's, don't miss your chance. It's time sensitive. It's all about doing it now. You need to be prepared. You need to be excited. You need to be clear. You need to be friendly. And you need to be really excited to help someone whose timing wasn't right for them before, but could be right now. All right, so we're going to shift gears for just a second here. And I just want to touch on this because I know that with spring, especially with spring, we start to get into the summertime where there's lots of barbecues and a lot more family gatherings that happen in the springtime, as the weather starts to clear up. So I want to give you some ideas for how you can use this to be like a networking heaven for you, okay? So if you put all that kind of work into and sell appointments, and you're doing all this follow-up, and you're making sales, and you're being consistent, you're literally or not literally, but you're figuratively going to grow 3 inches, right? Your confidence gets bigger because you're so clear and confident in your work that talking about what you do is easy because it's natural, because it's second nature, because it's truthful for you, right? So just think about how much more excited you will be catching up with your family at holidays, get-togethers or community get-togethers or whatever, if you are implementing these strategies, and especially if you do this massive follow-up effort like we've just described, right? So what you want to be ready for is when people say, how have you been and what have you been up to? What are you going to say with regard to your web center business and your unfranchised business? Right? Are you going to say, oh, well, I started this thing? Or are you going to say, oh my gosh, business has been booming? Those two things communicate on completely different levels, right? So you want to go with business has been booming and I can't even keep up. There's so much follow up, but it's all great stuff, right? You want to be excited about what you're doing. And the best way to be exciting in that delivery is to actually be excited because you're doing work and seeing results. So again, the more truthful that is for you because you're actually doing the work, the easier it's going to be to communicate this kind of stuff with your friends and family at different gatherings. All right, just a little tip. People love to hear stories more than clinical information. So if you're working with a new client or if business is expanding and you just opened up in California, you just, got a new business partner in California, they like to hear about that kind of stuff more than, well, I made 1,100 contacts over blah, 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 blah. They don't care about the numbers. And in fact, that's none of their business. All they want to know is that you're doing well. And so share a story with them. That's the best thing that you can do because that gets people excited for you and excited about the opportunity in general. Just be real and have fun. All right. This is not an opportunity for you to go. I love this next slide. Hunting, where you show up at Easter dinner or Passover or whatever you're celebrating. Passover is over, but whatever. You show up to something, and now it's your opportunity to just recruit everybody in the room. We don't recruit, we prospect, and you prospect by fishing, meaning you talk to people, you identify some needs, you qualify people, and you're just respectful. You have normal conversations to qualify leads, right? It's very, very important that you respect those relationships with your friends and your family, right? You can't just come at them and expect them to make this career choice over Easter dinner or over Mother's Day brunch or whatever. That's not appropriate. But what you can do is have a friendly conversation and share all the exciting things that are going on in your business and all the new business partners that you're bringing on. And also remember to ask them how they're doing. You can have these kinds of conversations in a way that's really, really productive and really fun and feels good. Remember, what you don't say in your business is just as important as what you do say. So I gave you a couple of do's and don'ts. Do not be a conversation hog, right? I don't care if everything in your world has been going incredible. Like, actually, it's so weird. Like, I go to family events and my family doesn't know half of what I've been doing. Like, I don't even think my family knew that in the last 6 days I was in Greensboro and Tampa, that I just gotten home, because I don't hog the conversation. I make it about them, right? Do not verbally vomit about the business. Don't talk to people about how they need to do your business. That's not fair, right? Don't forget to ask questions, because the more you can ask questions is bigger, the more opportunities you have for them to talk to you and identify some needs that you might be able to fill, right? Avoid talking, do not avoid talking about the business, right? So you don't want to take it to the extreme where you don't talk about your business at all, because you know what? If it's socially acceptable for them to talk about how work has been going great or work has been horrible, it's socially acceptable for you to do the same, and you shouldn't feel uncomfortable doing that either. And I've always said that. I said, look, I'm not gonna verbally vomit on you about my business, but listen, I care about how things are going for work for you, and that's why I asked you, and I expect that you would care about that for me as well. And don't make the mistake of not having some sort of follow-up planned. So if someone does ask more questions and conversation leads to the next thing, and they do, for whatever reason, want information, which a lot of times they actually will, you need to know what's happening, and I'll give you some ideas for that. Please make sure that you're sharing stories about how things have been. Again, stories are more effective than clinical information. Ask them how they've been doing and listen, right? Get people to expose their pain. Because again, these are the kinds of opportunities that are going to present themselves where now you can't help it if they brought up the business. Now you're going to talk about it because they're talking about how they have no time in their lives, or they're working so much, but they can't seem to get ahead, or whatever it is, right? And be ready. Have an answer to what is it. Make sure you're feeling confident there, and make sure you have some follow-up planned. So what are some ways that you'll be able to share information? Well, there's all kinds of ways. If people ask like what you've been up to, and they want to know more about what you do, which happens all the time, you've got several different options here, right? You could now, everybody has a marketamerica.com/their group website. It's a replicated site of Market America. It's some basic information about the company. So if they're looking to learn about your company that you own a part of, you can send them there. Everybody can do that. Another thing that you can do is you can send them to your personal website. So I put a shot of what my website looks like here. It's the Stack Group. It's the stackgrp.com. And if you go there, this is our personal site. So it has a little bit on the shop.com system, a little bit on training, our blogs, about us, contact us. And I have like a lead capture here. If you want to learn more about shop.com and the opportunity, they put their name and email and they get the About MA PDF. So I branded myself in my business, and not everybody needs to do this, but what you should know is that distributor recruiting sites are built on the MA Web Center's system. So it's an opportunity for us as distributors to buy a website from ourselves at a better distributor cost. So it's $16.95 per month, so about $17 per month. And I don't think there's even a startup fee. I think it's actually still waived. And you get completely customizable website. You can brand yourself. You get email marketing, SEO, social media tools, all of the cool features that all website clients get, we get as well. And I love that because when people ask me what I do, and if they need like a non-aggressive way to scope me out, I just say, go to my website, thestackgrp.com. And I know exactly what they're going to be seeing because I'm the one that customized the content. So that's an option that you have. If you're interested in that, you can go to explorema.com and you can learn more about it. You can also get started with a free trial there. Another thing you could do is email somebody the MA PDF, the About MA PDF. You can get that under downloads in your unfranchise. You can plug them into a webinar or a UBP or an HBP, or you could just say, hey, let's just get together and have coffee and do a one-on-one. And like, I'd love to know more about what you're looking to do, and vice versa. Right? So just understand this, that when you're talking and you're fishing at these different events, it's important that you know what your options are, to share information so that when you do get a yes, or you do get someone that says, I wish I could, I'd love to learn more about what you're doing, or I'd love to check out your website or whatever, you know exactly where you're going to send them. So that again, it's the best way to capitalize and capture the lead at the time, instead of just waiting and playing the follow-up game later. All right, guys, so I hope this has been helpful for you. I hope you're going to use these upcoming spring festivities in a positive way to grow your business and enhance your efforts. Just remember, guys, it's small efforts every day equal the big win here. It's the compounding effort that works. Don't forget to report your results. Don't forget to stay engaged every single day. It's about accountability. Next week, we're going to be talking about the art of passive prospecting. So when you're out and about in your day and you're just running into prospects left and right at restaurants or places you do business with, or people that you meet at the coffee shop or whatever events, social environments, what should you say to them, and how do you take advantage of those opportunities? Because they're generally 30 to 60-second opportunities that can equal lifelong website clients. You never know. A lot of our business websites that we've sold, we met people at Starbucks. We had 30 seconds and we just hit it off and schedule an appointment. I want to share with you exactly the different strategies that are working. We're also going to talk about that halfway point assessment. We were going to do it this week, but I want you to have a full 6 weeks under your belt before you assess your own activity halfway through this process. So I will give you a worksheet that you can actually fill out and give yourself an assessment to see where you're doing really well and where you'd like to make some improvements. All right, guys, make it an excellent week. And if you have any questions, make sure you ask on Facebook so that we can help each other out. Looking forward to working with everybody throughout the week.